I never wanted this. Getting up, practicing, rehearsing. I never asked for none of it. And it wasn't my decision. It's all of the Father's decision. He's in control of all of this. At the end of the day, this is all coming out because it's happening all across the country. Corruption, cover-ups by the court system, protected by the gatekeepers, politicians. It's all unraveling. And all you gotta do is listen for yourself. Open your eyes, read, look, see with your own eyes. It's happening all over the U.S. Our story bigger than we could ever imagine. It ain't just for Ramon and Rain, this is for everybody's kids. I want to give you guys a heads up. The court date has been changed. It's been changed and pushed back to the 29th of September, 2025. This judge here, this is Judge Angela Horan. She recused herself from seeing and hearing the case on the 2nd of September, 2025, based off of her not being comfortable and a conflict of interest. Now, you're following this case. Again, the video behind me is Z2, which is heard by this judge in the middle, the black female. This is Judge Lucas. Opposing counsel, Jennifer Ramos, Joseph McGuire. All three of these individuals have law degrees. And all three of these individuals heard my babies speak of their assaults on them and also what they witnessed, the assault they witnessed, and they told their lawyer that works for the courts, Angela Morehouse, about the pedophile Tyree Carr choking their mom and my son having to get a knife. All those individuals heard them. I'm going live tomorrow at 3:30 on the YouTube channel. I'm going live tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel. I will have with me correspondence that has been sent out and that you guys can see and hear your correspondence for yourself. But there is something very significant about tomorrow that if you're following this story, if you have children, you're going to want to hear and you're going to want to see. I have very crucial and critical audios that are coming up afterwards. Again, my court date's been pushed back to the 29th of September 2025. I have not heard or seen my children, Ramon Jr. and Rain, since February 2025. Please keep in mind tomorrow's discussion is going to be all about this case, but also for you to be aware that alienation, parental alienation, and Stockholm syndrome, if you can just read up on that tonight, that kind of give you guys a little heads up of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And black on black hate is something that was one of the driving forces behind some of the artwork that I've done, and which has also been used by the same corrupt system and throughout the United States. So please keep in mind that everything that I'm saying to you, I don't want you to take my word for it. It's all there. It's pinned on the TikTok. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. And share the story. You're going to have no choice but to, because I've been threatened with incarceration for not taking down my social media based off what I've recorded, lawyers and judges lying inside the courtroom in Manassas, Virginia, to Ramon Jr. and Rain. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry I can't see you. It is not my fault that I cannot see you, I cannot hear you and touch you, but your daddy is fighting to get this out. I love you guys. Keep protecting our babies, y'all.
You're absolutely right. Parental alienation syndrome is real, and it is one of the most devastating forms of psychological abuse a child can endure. It happens when one parent deliberately turns the child against the other parent, and not because that other parent is unsafe, but because they want revenge or control or to erase that parent from the child's life. They use lies, manipulation, and subtle emotional conditioning until that child believes the other parent doesn't love them or is dangerous or is just not worth having in their life. For the child, it leaves deep confusion and pain because the child is being forced to choose between two parents that they love, a choice no child should ever have to make. For the alienated parent, it is a living grief watching your child pull away from you, not because of anything that you've done, but because of what they've been conditioned to believe. Parental alienation isn't a custody issue. It is child abuse. Let's call it what it is, child abuse. It steals the bond between a child and a parent, leaving lasting trauma on both of them. If you're living through this, drop a comment and find other men and women that are experiencing parental alienation. You are not alone. The truth has a way of surfacing. Just keep showing up for your child. Keep fighting for that relationship, and one day it will pay off.
Let's talk about dangerous trends in family court. One of the most dangerous current trends in the United States in family court is the labeling of cases that ought to be labeled either domestic violence, family violence, or cases involving coercive control as high conflict. And the reason why this is so detrimental is that when you take a case that's actually a domestic violence case or a coercive control case and you call it high conflict, what you have just done is you have just mutualized the harm. You have mutualized the abuse. You have made it appear as though both the perpetrator and the victim are equally to blame. And when there is domestic violence and or coercive control involved, that is absolutely false. You can never have a coercive control case or a domestic violence case where the parties are equally to blame, because only the abuser is responsible for the abuse that they are perpetrating. So please stop calling these cases high conflict. A high conflict case is something where both parties are equally responsible, and that never happens in cases that involve domestic abuse, domestic violence, family violence, or coercive control.
Over the past couple days, I've received a ton of new support, new followers, and I'm very appreciative of those who have decided to join me on this mission for family law court reform. And as I go through my comments, this one here gave me chills, honestly, because I know that the children were legally kidnapped by definition, but I never really thought of the fact that they were sold. The children were sold. Because here's the thing, in family court, outcomes are being bought, traded, and who can sway the judge based on politics and relationships. So when attorneys tell you it may depend on who can impact the judge and what type of mood the judge is in that day, they're not lying. And that's not justice. That's racketeering in robes. This is a pay-to-play system where families are going to be exploited and the children will be used as currency. If that doesn't make you stop and think how broken family court is and the necessary demand for change, because the system that was sworn to protect the children are actually setting up the next generation for complete failure. If that doesn't make you stop and think, then I don't know what will.
Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. My prayers go out to his family for what he went through and what they're currently experiencing. I am currently up under primus bellum. If you guys are following this story, told you guys prior that this is the Father's work, and I guess I was kind of skeptical about it at first because I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor, and I have nothing to show for any type of religious expertise other than I'm saved. I read the Bible. I don't read like I supposed to. Sexual fornication is something I definitely have to work on, but I'm not a pastor. So I'm a work in progress. Anyway, so I'm up under Primus Bellum. I did a posting on this back on the 29th of August 2025 in reference to President Donald Trump. In that posting, I specifically mentioned about the devil's plan and what the devil is trying to do before the war begins. And for those of you who are wondering what war I'm talking about, it's the same war that's been talked about for eons in the Bible, and it's taking place right now, and it needs the death of truth. Truth has to disappear. So the attempt on our president's life, and for the record, I mean, I'm not here to say I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for none of them, because at the end of the day, they're the same people who control the chessboard that is being maneuvered for all of us. So I've mentioned about this president here and the attempt that happened to this man and what the enemy was trying to do. And what he didn't do there, he's continuing to try to do. And the fathers asked me to comment on this, and it's not to take away any or be glorified about what took place against Charlie Kirk, but as a veteran, as a CQB instructor, I have a skill set when it comes to guns, and I was wondering why it was brought up in court, and now it's starting to make sense. So this lawyer here, Angela Morehouse, brought up in court in 2018 my artwork and my fascination or my fixation with guns, and she brought this up to this turd. This is Turd Merchak, Guns, Ammunition, Artwork, 2018, when I tried to get the same lawyer removed. Now, the significance of what's happening right now, so this is Bob Munden. So I know people talk about Mike Tyson being the baddest man on the planet, but those in the gun community, we know who this is probably the fastest man on the planet when it comes to guns, in particular revolvers. So as a prior CQB instructor, I kind of have this thing about guns. It's like, it was brought up for a reason. It's because of my expertise with guns. And I was asked specifically about triggers, dry firing techniques, Filipino techniques, all these things that didn't have a sway or had any idea, any relevance whatsoever in the custody case. But yesterday, what happened to this brother, and most military personnel will understand this, it wasn't a fluke. And like I tried to tell everybody when I did this posting, the attempt on this on his life and what they try to do with him is the reason why the devil is trying to recruit as many people in his army before the Father gets here. Now, some of y'all might not agree with me, and some of you guys might say, you know what, I don't believe anything you're saying. All you gotta do is look outside. The truth is right in front of us, and if you speak the truth, or if you're concerned about the truth coming out, guess what happens? I'm not going to say his name, but guess you understand what happened yesterday. This is Josephine Gilbo. This is another warrior standing on that business. She's standing about truth. The same thing I'm doing right now with this case. So I was in a boat company in the Marine Corps, and we were QRF. QRF is a quick reactionary force for SEAL teams, for other Marine elements, and even some sniper teams. During the Kuwaiti war, there was this highway called Highway 80, and something very significant took place there, and video footage was made from the Iraqis who were fleeing. I wasn't personally there at that location, but footage got back to our units, and it was a lot of video footage of what happened and things that were happening to human beings And some of those images, they still replay back to today. And there are soldiers, Marines walking around with images probably worse than some of the ones I've seen. But certain images stick out with me, and that's why I brought up the situation about the president, because I have firsthand knowledge, and this is from, watching, this brother who was a sniper. He collected headshots, and he walked. You would have never thought it, because he always had a smile on his face, and those images play back every day. In certain aspects, they play back every day. It's like they don't shut off. So when I saw what happened with the attempt on the president, that's what registered to me, and it only made it worse when I was like, the children can't see stuff like that. But if you guys are watching right now what's happening, it's almost glorified for people to see horror play out on national TV. And that's what the devil wants. He needs that. It's like part of his recruiting process for you to have no feeling. And it's not a good feeling to have. It's like a nothingness. It's like there's nothing there. And that's what he wants. That's why he's all these attempts and stuff in broad daylight right in front of the media. That's a political play. And most people, especially military personnel, will tell you, especially snipers, headshots are the most psychological shots. When you see that happen, when you see it unfold, or even if you're watching a video, you don't forget it. And it does something to you. And that's what the devil is trying to do right now to everybody, because it's coming. The truth that's right in front of people's faces, and people are doing all kinds of stuff, shaking their butts. I mean, you name it. People are trying to do everything they can to avoid the truth, but it's right there in your face. And for anybody who's doubted what I'm saying to you, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Polygraph. You got somebody running for Congress, polygraph. You want some polygraph test solves everything. It's only 3 entities that don't want a polygraph test administered. Lawyers that become judges, and politicians. Polygraph test puts everything to rest. The truth is coming out.
What I witnessed this morning by one of our mom's attorneys was disgusting. I think he prosecuted her. I think her parents paid however much it cost, and he prosecuted her. He said she's a sovereign citizen, which isn't true. He said that the parents can afford $25,000, but $50,000 is stretched, but it could be done for bail. And he said that she was a flight risk because she remains concerned about the safety of her daughter. And so bail should be 3 times what it would be for somebody else. Like whatever the charges are, and figure out the bail. He said it should be 3. That was the one representing her, not the one on the state that's prosecuting criminal charges, the one that was supposed to be defending her. This is what parents are up against in family court. I'm still rattling my brain. So when people say, no, I don't want an attorney, no, I don't want someone else to be in charge of my welfare. And so when you hire an attorney, maybe everybody doesn't know this, you give them the power of attorney, which gives them the rights to do what you want. My guess is, and I don't know, she got jumped yesterday. So maybe the parents on the way there on the prison bus. So maybe the parents were in the hospital with their daughter, so he could do whatever he wanted when nobody was there to witness it. I witnessed it. I saw it. I saw the crimes. More moms saw the crimes too. Maybe they don't know that we're all connected. But we saw the crimes.